Welcome back to The Takeout. At least 12 U.S. states are now reporting cyber attacks on water systems that may be linked to Iran-backed hackers. This includes more than 30 community water systems in the state of Minnesota. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Sganga has been all over this and joins us now. So last week, it was not 12. This is expanding. Who is being impacted and how?
Yeah, Lindsay, the reported footprint has grown from 7 to at least 12, and officials do expect that that number will continue to grow. New Jersey confirming 2 of its municipal systems lost remote monitoring and management capabilities. Georgia, with one of the clearest physical consequences, Clayton County saying that reduced pressure led them to issue a precautionary boil water advisory. The FBI is now identifying more than just password changes. This is important because investigators are actually finding altered controller project files in ladder logic. Okay, what does that actually mean? It means that the instructions governing the physical equipment in our water and wastewater utilities have been changed. So instructions operating the valves, the pumps, the water pressure, and all of that is really important, Lindsay, because it sparks concerns about possible water contamination when the pressure is not high enough. Now, the FBI says multiple victims had a similar third-party provider network setups. So that's important because it potentially gives attackers a repeatable route into numerous utilities. One of the things we're paying attention to right now is that restored service doesn't necessarily mean that this threat has been eliminated. So every potential access point in all of these water utilities has to be checked. Controllers, workstations, cellular modems, vendor connections, credentials, and backups, just to make sure malicious changes are not restored within the system. Last point here, Lindsay, back when Volt Typhoon happened about 1.5 years ago, this was a sophisticated Chinese cyber attack on gas and power utilities. We know that at least 150 organizations were impacted. National security officials tell me they only have true visibility into whether or not those malicious Chinese-linked actors are still in those systems in about a dozen cases. A dozen out of over 150. So the time to address a cyber attack is actually before it happened. And what we're seeing right now is raising concerns not only for tomorrow, but for future months and years.
So last week, the president blamed the state of Minnesota on this. What's the White House saying now?
Well, look, attribution has not been made official. I want to talk a little bit about why it's so difficult. These tactics are not unique to Iran. Finding just an exposed industrial controller and exploiting a weak or default password is something that can be done by governments like Iran or criminals or hacktivists. But these attacks do closely mimic Iran-linked activity. So one of the ones we've been talking about a lot, the 2023 Cyber Avengers campaign. Still, resemblance alone is not proof that the Iranians are behind this. And we also are aware that another actor could be trying to imitate Iran. One of the big challenges here is that small utilities might actually lack useful forensic evidence. And without detailed logs, it's really difficult for officials to kind of put the pieces together to identify where some of these connections originated. What usually helps is high confidence attribution is intelligence beyond just technical similarities. So attacker systems, intercepted communications, identifying infrastructure, that usually comes from the FBI and the intelligence community. And that is what we're waiting on right now.
All right, Nicole Sganga, Brave New World. Thank you.